Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to JT's Mixtape. This is episode number 50. And if you guys are enjoying these podcasts, please give me a 5-star review on either Apple or Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you.
Come closer, my child.
What's going on, y'all? This podcast is brought to you by Modern Roots Life. Modern Roots Life is a Christian-owned and operated company, and it's bringing real health back to its roots. They offer powerful, all-natural health supplements such as beef liver, cod liver oil, beef tallow, magnesium, and mineral-rich salts, all sourced the way God intended. Clean, simple, and from the earth. So whether you're looking to boost your energy, restore mineral balance, or just fuel your family with real nourishment, Modern Roots Life has got you covered. Guys, in this community, we're trying to get healthy in our mind, in our body, and our spirit. So don't neglect your health. If you want more information, check out modernrootslife.com and check the link in my description. You know, people often ask me how they can support me. Well, I think it's pretty cool if you can support me by supporting the people who support me, and you get something in return. And being healthy is a pretty good return. Well, fellas, you guys are both back tonight. I got Aaron, Tunai Hart, and also Demon Racers. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, y'all?
Nothing much here. Just chilling and watching this Kirk stuff still persisting. The Candace thing, though, but man, that Candace statement.
The Candace stuff is interesting, but we're not going to get into Charlie Kirk today. Again, this will be a Charlie Kirk free zone today.
Yeah.
No Charlie Kirk news. Like I said, you guys can get that many places. And we're going to talk about the Rapture a little bit, but I don't want to hammer it this week because I know we talked pretty heavily about it for 2 weeks now. But let's just pull that Band-Aid off and let's just start it right now because...
It didn't happen, guys. Surprise.
Well, again, we said it didn't happen last week, but wouldn't you know, there's a new date.
Oh, the new date's already come out?
Yeah, let's watch a video about that.
Oh, good. Good to know that the new date's been moved.
The Rapture is back on, and you might think that the pastor who gave the original prophecy that it was going to be on September 23rd was wrong, but you would be wrong, because he was actually right all along. And I know what you're thinking. How could that be? You did not see any bodies flying towards the sky on September 23rd. Well, it is because we were using the wrong calendar. Jesus doesn't know that we changed our calendar, and we should have been using the Julian calendar, because that is the calendar that they used back in the day. So it is now rescheduled to October 6th to 7th.
That calendar is behind by 13 days.
Now, Percy is very relieved because he was very stressed out about this. He thought that God had spoken to him directly and that it was going to be on September 23rd, but now it all makes sense. And he is not alone. There are a lot of people who are coming back online and saying that they are sure this time.
Because when he was on the earth, the Julian calendar was the calendar they followed. So he is going to come back on the Feast of Trumpets on the Julian calendar.
Here's where I have some disappointing news. The guy that sold his car and said that he was no longer going to talk about the Rapture publicly, he has pretty much walked that back at this point. He has been making a lot of videos about the Rapture. And while he has not said that it will be on October 6th or 7th, he is liking a bunch of comments and kind of being like wink wink about it because he said he wasn't going to say the exact date, but he is saying it without saying it.
I got my shofar yesterday. Jesus is coming very, very soon. If you know, you know. Wink, wink.
So it looks like we are going to get to do all of this again very soon, and I will keep you updated on any Rapture news.
I like how the cat was yawning in the background. I was like, we're all the cat.
Dude, what was that shofar blow? That was the weakest. It's like the weakest. Was that meant to be a joke? Is this making fun or is this serious? I can't tell. Like, I can't tell. Is she? Wait, who is that girl? Isn't she the girl that like mocks Christianity? that?
I don't really know who she is. I mean, it doesn't seem like she was promoting the rapture. She was just
reporting the news like it was
yeah,
fact.
she was just reporting the.
Yeah, she was. At first, when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude, she can't be serious." But it was clear after watching it a couple of times and reading through the comments, she's making fun of them, 100%.
Well, good.
Is she?
Well, good.
Oh, okay.
Well, good. But the thing is, yeah. So some of the accounts we talked about last week, and again, I'm not going to name their names. You can figure out who they are. Some of them made kind of half apologies, and then just the last couple days, it's kind of like, forget everything we said. It's back on. We're going to set dates. Setting dates is fine. All this stuff. I mean,
oh my gosh.
I told you guys last week. I told you, Brian. I said, you said next year. I said, just tickle our ears. Just scratch our ears and tell us it's next month.
13
They
more
say
days.
it's next month. And I got to play a quick video, and then we can talk a little bit more about this. This is
Oh
this sums up my
gosh.
feelings pretty well here.
This is insane.
So we didn't learn. We didn't learn from last time. We didn't. So we didn't learn. Comprehension. We didn't learn.
That's accurate.
Yeah, very accurate.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, that's literally, we were saying, yeah, like kind of jokingly, like, yeah, they're going to say next month. And then, I mean, yeah, 13 days. And so this guy is just saying, oh, whoops, it's 13. Oh, it's the wrong calendar. So that's what. It kind of reminds me of that old SNL skit. And it was playing off the movie The Omen. And then the kid's supposed to have 666 on his forehead. And then the guy kind of just comes up behind him and says, oh, it's not 3 6s, it's actually 3 9s, because he's looking from it upside down. That's what this sounds like. It's like, oh, we actually didn't get it wrong. It's just next month. Let's just string it out for 2 more weeks, and then
Pride is wild, dude. Like the pride is absolutely wild. I don't know. At first, I don't even know what to say anymore, because I feel like at some point in time, like, righteous anger is necessary and even needed, but it's like, to what end? You know, like, these people aren't going to listen no matter what. I guess we really have to be praying for them, but for correction, whatever it takes, like whatever that correction looks like, whether it's gentle or not, because the part that, I don't know, like my intimacy level with Jesus has changed dramatically over the last couple of years, and everything started to make so much more sense when I actually fell in love with him, and started to have the level of relationship that I've got with him now, and I see something like that, and it undermines and counteracts all of the work that the real believers are doing, that are out there trying to love people to Jesus. It just undermines it all. It just makes it look like such a joke. And it takes the people that are on the fence, or some of the people that, I don't know. I mean, because it could be argued that the people that are going to fall for that and listen to those people and use that as an excuse to not follow Jesus weren't going to believe him anyways. You know, I can understand that also. But it's a mockery, dude. Like, it's heresy. If we're being honest, if we're calling it what it is, like, that whole doctrine is heresy. And to keep stringing it along, doubling down on it, and showing no remorse whatsoever, I don't know, man. It makes me want to punch someone.
Says the Lord, turn him over to a debased and reprobate mind, right? It's like basically so that you will study to prove yourselves worthy, right? So, and it says that, like, you have to do it. And it says basically, like, it's on you if you don't know and you don't realize. It's kind of like,
it's true.
And he's like, he let them do that for their own waking up or being turned away, or let them lead themselves into destruction in a lot of ways. It's just kind of like, well, I mean, that's kind of the way that you're going to go if you're going to go that way.
Well, you know what it says in the Bible too, is that the false prophets are a judgment on the people.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get that one.
So, and of course, the verse that comes to my mind is that, like a dog returns to its vomit, so the date setters return to a different date. I mean, it's exactly what it means. It's like, so the idea is, again, it's, you could knock down this false prophet, Joshua, and there'd be another one. Why would there be another one? Because there's need for another one in this community. And I think that's kind of what Aaron's kind of getting at. The problem is not necessarily the date, even though that was a problem. It's how we showed last week is how they come up with these dates. Their whole foundation is so fundamentally flawed because they're looking for, again, astrology, numerology. They're looking for random sites and whatever they're doing. They're some guy's getting a word from a spirit, but it's not the Holy Spirit.
Definitely not.
And then he's telling everybody what he heard. And so, a fundamentally sound Christian would say, this is not biblical. Like, so I don't care what you saw. That's interesting, but you know what? Keep it to yourself. Don't say it out loud. And don't encourage other people into this folly. But these people are not fundamentally sound. So again, yeah, if they think that you could disappear at any moment, it's like, well, all you need is somebody to tell you you're going to. And that's all that you need. So you have a million lies on TikTok every day. Maybe a million's probably a very conservative amount of lies that would be on TikTok. So yeah, how many get spread around, the church community? And yeah, I mean, people who want to hear that, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they'll just, yeah, it's the people that want the false teachers. They want the false prophets. So therefore, God says, yeah, you want that? Here you go. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. So I mean, if you don't know your Bible, well then, yeah, you'll fall for all this stuff. Or maybe, I mean, again, like, if that's what you want.
What blows my mind is it further proves how slanted people can be in their interpretations of the same word that we're all reading.
They're not reading it.
No, I mean, you just said it. And you can't pick and choose what we're going to take literally and what we're not. Like, you can't, dude. Like, you got to apply it across the board. I think I said this on your podcast a few weeks ago, but it's like, if we were honest with ourselves and we sat down and we took everything that's in the word that's uncomfortable to look at and not twist and go, am I intentionally not taking that literally because it would mean too much in my life if I did? Mm-hmm. It would hurt too much. It would mean I'd have to sacrifice more. I'd have to give this up. I'd have to stop living like this. I'd have to start doing this. That's the only reason that people choose to not take it the way that it's meant to be taken. That's it. But if we were all to just do the work and deal with it and say, okay, no matter what it takes, I'm going to interpret it this way and I'm going to make whatever changes need to be made in my life to adjust to what it says, not to make it adjust to me, right? Like that version of Jesus is not the Jesus that's in the Word. So you're reading his red letters and you're not hearing what he's saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just thinking this week is that, so you have so many TikTok teachers, Bible teachers, prophets, and all that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of people, and I definitely have a fear of the Lord where I worry that I'm teaching out of the Bible. I don't call myself a teacher, though I'm sure people would call me that because I do Bible studies and stuff. But I'm just saying, I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm telling you this is my interpretation of the text we read. But I would say that, so a lot of people probably in the pre-trib camp, they would obviously say that we're all false teachers, talking about the little season. But I would say, here's how I could justify what I do versus what some of y'all do. I'm not telling you to believe me. I'm telling you to believe Jesus.
Exactly.
So I'm pointing to exactly what he says, and I'm saying, I believe what he said. I can read what he says. I know what it says in context, and I believe he is the truth. He tells the truth, and everything that he predicted would happen, happened. And so you could say, well, I don't see evidence of it all. Well, that's on you. I mean, I don't care. Like, I'm just telling you what he said. So I'm saying I believe it, and I have enough evidence to believe the things that I say. Now, on the other hand, you have people saying, source, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro, God told me this. Trust me, bro, I saw these letters. Trust me, bro, I saw these numbers. Trust me, bro, it's a full moon. That's the difference. You're telling people to believe you. I'm telling people to believe Jesus. And I'm comfortable with that. One day, I could be wrong about a lot of stuff. Again, I'm not saying 100% we're in the little season. It makes the most sense to me. It takes the least amount of mental gymnastics to read the scriptures on context and say, hey, where are we at on the timeline? We got to be somewhere in Revelation 20. Where we're at in Revelation 20? I'm not sure. But to me, that makes the most sense. And then for the other people, it's like isolating one verse here and then taking that verse and running with it and talking about the moon, the sun, and the stars and the shofars, which sound like a kazoo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, see, that's the difference. And I said, one day I'm going to be judged based on every idle word I said, everything that I said on these podcasts. And again, I would say that that's why I always compare the little season to flat earth, is that even before I accepted biblical cosmology, I did actually have to give the flat earthers credits. Like, hey, you know what? They are taking these scriptures and they're saying, look what it says. And they're saying, this is what God's indicating. He's indicating this. Okay, Brian, you can interrupt me with that.
That's how you blow a shofar. Okay.
Yeah. Who?
Not like that. Like that.
All right, easy. Don't blow it 7 times.
That's how you do it.
Or the walls are going to come tumbling down in the studio.
But I think one important aspect to what you were saying just now too, JT, and this isn't at all like tooting our own horns. This is me just literally speaking the truth.
Nice pun. Nice pun
Right?
there.
Like it's just telling the truth. One of the major qualities you want to pay attention to if you're going to listen to anybody and follow anybody is humility, right? And I know for a fact, like Brian, you and I just met a handful of weeks ago, and so I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure you've done this over time with your content publicly, but like I know for a fact I have, and I know JT has. Like we have gone and removed content.
Oh yeah,
we have made new
Several
content
times.
and apologized, and said and literally addressed everyone and said, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. Like I was wrong for saying this. I had this wrong. I misunderstood this, or I misspoke, or I was out of line, or whatever the case was." And so like. That is, in so many ways, like what we're doing is living our lives and living out our faith publicly. We're not just sharing the high points. We're not just sharing the new revelations. Part of those new revelations, though, are being wrong sometimes. And admitting that we're wrong and coming back and saying, I was wrong. This is why I was wrong. This is how I should have said it. This is how I should have handled it. I used to all the time, just a couple of years ago, I would say, you know, like, this is the way this is. This is the way it's really going on. This is the way this really works. Mm-hmm. And now I say, what I'm learning is.
Here's what I think is happening.
Here's what I think, and here's what
this
I'm
is possible.
learning.
Is this possible? Do you think this is possible? This could be like this?
Yeah, because again, the only thing I know 100,000%, the only thing I know 100,000% is that Jesus is real, and He saved me from eternal damnation.
Amen.
And He purified my heart. And he set me on the right path, and He is the reason. He is the reason, period, for everything, and that's the only thing I can count on, 100%. So
you know, it's funny that you say that. Oh, okay, here comes the shofar again.
that was my attribute to your statement there.
I think you might have just started the rapture. No, you know what? So it's funny though about what you said, and we'll switch off the subject. So last week I was so kind of like a matter of fact of like, hey, you have to take a video down if it's false. By the way, that guy is not taking his videos down yet, so the countdown's still on. But what I said is that if you know you made a video and you said something that's provably false, I said you got to take that video down. I said as a Christian, this kind of goes without saying. So the funniest thing was that night I had recorded that video about that Snake Eyes movie, and so I go to bed. It's already doing pretty well.
It was popping off, actually.
It was popping off on every platform that I had. And so I go to bed. I wake up. It's probably got 500,000 views on Facebook, 100,000 on Instagram. It's got 300-something thousand on TikTok. And then there was something that always kind of rubbed me a little bit wrong because everybody said that poster for the fight said September 10th on it. But I was like, it's really hard to see because it was really kind of a grainy picture. But I was like, that might not be a 10. But everyone said it was a 10. And then so I was like, I saw a lot of comments saying that it's not September 10th, it's September 19th. And I was like, it is, isn't it? Because I kind of instantly knew. And I thought, you know what? It still looks like a 10. And then somebody texted me, oh, I was researching. It says the 10th. And then I was like, oh, good. Thank God. Because I was like, I'm going to have to take this video down. I'm going to have to like put my money where my mouth is. Like I just was very matter of fact about doing this. And I was like, okay, cool. And then the guy messaged me back. Oh, wait a minute. ChatGPT is now saying it's a 19. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this video, I mean, I'm not even, I mean, I know these algorithms pretty well at this point. That video probably all told would have had 5 million views maybe on all the platforms I have combined. Because just at the rate, it was the kind that gains steam. You know what I mean? Like they continue to pick up and they're just, and I remember like all morning I was like wrestling around like, you're going to have to delete that video. And then I was like, oh, maybe I can just pin a comment or something like that. And I was like, oh gosh. And I guess it was like the Holy Spirit, like, you're going to delete it. Just do it now. It's only going to get harder to delete it. And so, yeah, I went ahead and deleted it. And I remember just being like, I had to like mourn for that video, but I remember just feeling like, it's so funny how God does things like that, where it's like, oh yeah, it sounds easy to say this sitting in the chair, but when you're watching the video just go viral, and then of course you're seeing other people make the same video, and I know that they don't care and they're never going to take it down, and I'm like, but it's not between me and them.
The set apart path is set apart.
Yeah, so that really sucked because I was like, yeah, because that was an easy one. I remember I was saying like from the kind of content I make, the conspiracy content with like the predictive programming in the movies, I was like, oh my gosh, idiot, get in the chair, make this video, it's going to be gold. And it was, except for one of the main premises of that video. By the way, yeah, so anyways, in that movie Snake Eyes, I mean, there's enough there already without the perfect date on there. But yeah, by the way, it is September 19th. And from God would not let me forget that detail was a pretty big detail, and it had to be the only way to fix it. I mean, I guess I could have uploaded the video, but at that point I was just like, forget it. Forget it. But yeah, so I did take that video down, but I'm also sorry that I went with the best information that I had, and I was wrong, and everybody else was wrong too. I mean, they're still wrong today, but whatever.
You were ahead of the curve on it too. That's why it was so hard for you to take it down.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like I know the
people to talk about it.
I know how the stuff works. I knew this was one of those ones where like if you're first on this one, home run, grand slam. Yeah, I knew it was, and I was like, whatever. Anyways, let's not dwell on that anymore.
You're still salty about it.
A little bit. I mean,
would you like me to blow the shofar for the condolence of your?
You know. Well, like I said, I mean,
whatever. I'm not even that mad about it anymore. I'm not.
Yeah, I've already grieved it. You know, so now that we transition off that topic, we're going to try to hit it fast and hard. We're going to get a lot more videos out today. This was a video. I don't even know if it's still relevant now, but I missed it a couple weeks ago.
Some breaking news, and I'm here to show it to you in just a second. Early this morning, a 12-foot tall statue of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein was erected in the National Mall right in front of the Capitol. Let me show it to you. In honor of Friendship Month, we celebrate the long-lasting bond between President Donald J. Trump and his closest friend, Jeffrey Epstein. Now, all we know is that a group called the Secret Handshake erected this statue and put it up. It was there this morning. They say it'll be there for 5 days. There, on the other side of the statue, by the way, I didn't show it to you, but was the letter that Donald Trump wrote to Jeffrey Epstein on his 50th birthday that was published by the Wall Street Journal. Of course, Trump denies it's his, but it's published there along with his signature. We don't really know much else about it, but it says it's in celebration of Friendship Month. We'll see if it stays up or if authorities take it down, but wanted to show it to you. One of my best followers sent me a tip saying go check out and see if it's there, and indeed it's there.
I've seen there's some statue person that builds statues and puts them in that same spot all the time for like political things. They put like a giant poop emoji there once or something, and they put like a giant like they've made like multiple statues. Some rich statue making man literally is like this statue culprit that keeps doing that, which is kind of comical. It really is funny.
That was not a. It didn't look like a cheap statue. I mean,
No,
because
they
I don't
made
really
it
know.
it's copper. It's for sure copper.
I mean, what do you think the Secret Handshake Club is? I mean, is that a secret society?
I think it's somebody making fun of secret societies, to be honest. I think it's somebody making fun of the Masons and their handshake, and obviously trying to expose Trump and his affiliation with Epstein. That doesn't seem to me like it's somebody on the inside trying to out one of their own.
No, I think it sounds to me like a really rich construction welder, like that probably has connections to statue making stuff, because not everybody knows how to make statues. So
yeah, I'm going to agree with that.
Yeah, so and like welders make certain welding types you can make bank. That's my theory.
So hilarious.
Legs
in the air.
I would not have known that was Epstein though, unless somebody told me.
Well, they have a placard on it that says Epstein.
That's what I'm saying, but does it really look like him though?
I don't know. Let's see a close-up of the face. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
It's just that is pretty epic. Yeah, unfortunately, guys, I did miss the window where it's no longer up. I don't know
The
what
other
to say.
part of that too is like, who allowed that? Like, they didn't take it down; they left it up.
Yeah, how come Trump
Why?
didn't come over there and like try to push it down or something?
It's pretty wild.
Because it wasn't Columbus or a Confederate general. I don't know.
Albert Pike.
Yeah, is the Albert Pike statue still up in
He
DC?
has it in. I think he's got one in the Oval Office or somewhere in the White House. I don't think there's one outside of it anymore.
There used to be one. There used to be a really big Albert Pike statue. I think that one actually got taken down. But yeah, like Albert Pike, super 33rd degree Mason, and I believe that he started the KKK. So it was kind of weird that he was one of the last ones, I think, to go.
I could be wrong. You might want to fact check me on that, but I think that there's a bust of him inside of the White House.
Oh, I'll have to look that up, see if we can find that. Yeah, so the Albert Pike statue was toppled by protesters in 2020. It's currently being restored by the National Park Service for reinstallation in Judiciary Square in Washington, D.C., and is expected to be back on its pedestal by October 2025. Oh, this month. The decision has prompted significant controversy and pushback for local officials. Oh, I wonder why they wouldn't want some guy who's like started the KKK to have his statue up in DC. Oh, like here, that's the Scottish Rite. Is there one in? Let's see if there's one in. I'm not seeing anything in the White House.
Yeah, I might have that confused with something else. I wasn't 100% on that one.
Okay, people in the comments, let us know if there's anything we missed. Okay, so some of the other big news this week was the NFL announced a headline act for the halftime show.
Is it Benjamin Netanyahu?
He's going to be playing the shofar.
Yeah, he'll be playing the shofar for chauffeur.
So the NFL just announced that Bad Bunny is going to headline their Super Bowl halftime show. And if you're asking why, I asked the same question. Out of all the artists, why do they choose this particular one? Could it be because of this? How about this? Or maybe this? Or on the other hand, it could be this. Or maybe this. Or it could be this. Or maybe it could be that. One thing we can all be sure about, it was not because of his musical talent. What do you guys think? Now, is there a chance that that guy is an Illuminati puppet? Because to me, it seems kind of unusual that for a football game, not a football game, a soccer game, you would get a non-English singer performer. Like, dude, all his hits are all in Spanish, dude. He doesn't even sing in English.
Oh, I don't even know who it was. I don't even know who Bad Bunny is.
Okay, well, you know what? Allow me to show a little bit from You Won't Believe Me. We'll talk a little bit more after this. If you again, I was not that familiar with Bad Bunny. I'd heard his name, but I had no idea who he was, really.
Fans are reporting that they felt a demonic presence when attending Bad Bunny's recent concert. Fans even started to make it into a meme by taking videos saying that the concert just feels demonic, but it became extremely dark when this song Botanico came on, where there were masked demons dancing all over him and the concert turned all red. Even the music video to this song is extremely dark. It's this monster looking thing that creeps up into this woman's room, and it actually ends up becoming Bad Bunny himself. Those who attended this concert are even advising people, if you're gonna go see Bad Bunny's concert, then schedule your bathroom breaks whenever this song comes on. And at one point, those demons that were around him, you can't really see because the concert gets really dark, but they start grabbing and pulling on him like he's being sacrificed or something. If you've seen my old videos, you know that this is no surprise because he's been showing this symbolism for quite some time now, and it was only a matter of time until this started happening in real life in concerts. You're looking at the man who had the second most streams in the world on Spotify in 2023.
So yeah,
Lord rebuke that dark energy in the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus, out. That's done. I don't even want to look at that.
That's
yeah.
Bunny.
So that
That's
guy
the Bunny.
is completely satanic. All about wearing a dress, pretending to be a female, kissing dudes. And he doesn't even sing in English. And the NFL says, hey, this guy would be great for the halftime show.
I think they're getting desperate.
All the football fans would love to hear this guy sing in Spanish and gyrate in a dress or, I don't know, a devil outfit or something like that. Yeah, and it looked like to me when he had the demon things on the stage, it looked like, to me, I was thinking like, I was getting vibes of like, are they pulling him down to hell? Did you notice that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's I don't know. It's definitely demonic symbolism.
I think at this
No, I don't
point,
know.
Thanks, Brian.
I think at this point they're just going with whoever's willing. I mean, I don't know how it goes down, but I would imagine it's something like they've got the people on the inside that are all a part of the club. They say this is the agenda. They're obviously fully aware that it's a Luciferian ceremony. They come in and they think who will perform this the best, who will do this the best, who's willing to do this, who will pull it off the best, maybe who's got the biggest fan base of who we can use to do this. But I think in that industry, it really comes down to like, because the people that get the most airtime and the most money are the ones that are willing to do the most for them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. In 2023, he had over 16 billion downloads.
It's insane.
16 billion.
I still don't know a single song that guy sings. So
Well, that's because
I don't either.
That's because he sings in Spanish, bro. Like he hasn't. I looked this up. He has not have one top 100 in the Billboard charts. You know, I think he does have some versions of his song in English, but not one of them charted in the top 100.
So wait, and he's the performing artist. Dude, you know what's so crazy? It's almost like, what is going on? Like, who are they choosing to be the Super Bowl halftime show? Like, honestly, like, who are they? Because they create these people. So clearly there's some agenda that this fool is on a kick with, and they're probably trying to come for the Latin community, because a lot of the Hispanic people know that there's a bunch of stuff is evil. And I think what they're doing is they're probably just trying to diversify into other communities to brainwash them. They don't even care about the American people anymore, because the American people, we're all waking up. American people are all just like, oh yeah, that's trash. So it's like maybe they're trying to like go, oh, let's pivot and let's start poisoning the Hispanic community or whatever other community we can get.
Bring them in, and then we'll corrupt them. Yeah. The interesting thing is that I want to say that Jay-Z is part of the people who pick who's on the halftime show. So Jay-Z might be Illuminati. He might be a little bit satanic. I mean, he's always claimed to be. So yeah, it's pretty interesting that he picks him. But you know what? Not everybody is thrilled with the choice of Bad Bunny. I like how You Won't Believe Me always mispronounces all these people's names. I kind of appreciate that.
The National Football League despises Jesus Christ and Christianity and Christian values. We have to, I know we love to gamble. I know we have great memories of what the NFL used to be, used to stand for, used to try to promote. That has all gone away. It is a tool to promote demonic worship, demonic energy, gayness, transgenderism, anything that defiles Jesus Christ. The National Football League is interested in promoting. People need to ask Roger Goodell, how far is this going to go? Will Satan personally receive an invitation to perform at halftime next year? Will we just come completely out of the closet, bring Aleister Crowley back from the dead, and let him lead the Super Bowl halftime? Come all the way out of the closet with it. You couldn't get any further out of the closet than Bad Bunny. But just come all the way out and just give the microphone to Satan. Let him flip the coin to start the game. Let him sing the national anthem, the black national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, God Bless America, and everything else. I'm asking those of you with a brain, I'm asking those of you that may hate me or not like everything about me, but can just see the insanity of this. We have to do something. We don't have to tolerate this. We can make the NFL reverse course on this decision and or pay a price for this decision. There's no way in heck I'm watching this Super Bowl, not with this Bad Bunny gay grooming halftime show. I'm asking those of you that are in the church and have influence over the church, we should be holding a Sunday night, February the 8th, worship service in protest to this Super Bowl. And we should be demanding that Forrest Frank and Elevation Worship and Tasha Cobbs, to whoever we want singing at halftime, we should be demanding that. If they can put Bad Bunny on at halftime, they dang sure can put Forrest Frank on at halftime.
That's a good point.
He's not wrong, but I mean, like, where was this passion 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Where was this passion 10 years ago? Like, why now? Why now is the breaking point? I mean, I'm glad it's here. I'm glad somebody's taking a stand, and I'm glad somebody's saying all of this stuff, because he's right. But the thing of it is like, it's so simple for everyone to just not watch it. Just don't watch it. Just don't participate. But I think the same people that have still not gotten to the point where they understand the consequences of their actions and, you know, where they give their energy, this demonic activity grows. If you don't understand that concept yet, I mean, that's terrifying. Like, we should already not be watching any of that crap. We shouldn't be watching any of it. We should have stopped watching it a long time ago. So, I mean, I think the bigger thing is, like, people just, they would change their tune if everybody stopped participating. Stop watching. All of it. Just like we were talking about with scripture earlier. Don't pick and choose what you're going to believe is literal and what you're not going to, like, if you know that it's coming from a demonically influenced place, don't watch it. It's black and white.
Yeah, you know what? I would say that from the differences, like we were saying 10 years ago, so we're all aware of Beyonce and people like that performing, Madonna. I guess maybe it was a little more innocent time. Maybe not so much, but I mean, for
Naive,
most people,
I would say is the word.
Yeah, maybe naive. Well, I mean, the point is, when Beyonce is going to headline the Super Bowl halftime show, Americans don't really think that's a weird choice. I mean, obviously, those who are awake know who she is, and she's going to be just as demonic as Bad Bunny is. She's going to do it maybe in a more subtle way, maybe not so subtle. But I think that's like, we were not looking for that. But now now it does seem like these mainstream acts, and especially like that's the I showed all those magazine covers. Not that you couldn't do that with almost any big time recording artists now. I mean, they all do the one eye stuff. They're all doing things, but I mean, they're all wearing dresses. They're all doing all that stuff. But this one does just seem like, yeah, that you don't get 16 billion downloads unless somebody is absolutely pushing you, like Taylor Swift gets pushed, right? It's not because that they are so much better than everyone else. It's that obviously they have the whole industry behind them, pushing them. And yeah, that it does seem like that this person shows you that they'll do whatever you tell them to. And that's likely what it takes to get 16 billion downloads, is that this person will sell their soul, they'll sell the people around them soul, they'll do whatever that it needs to be done. But I guess we didn't really realize for many years, at least I didn't, until you started to see well, I mean, I'm not looking for that. And of course, I said now when you start to look for it, and maybe it was a little more innocent time where it's just like, I don't listen to Madonna, I don't listen to Beyonce, so I don't really give a crap about their halftime performance. I was going to watch the football game. But now, of course, people who do what we do, they dissect it. But you're not going to need to dissect Bad Bunnies' performance because it's just like demon porn. And it's super gay. That's the one funny thing. Is like my brother was, he sent me the picture of him in the dress. And of course, I just sent him the meme, ha, gay? It's like, what is that? I mean, it's obviously that's what they want you to think. But like Jason Whitlock says, this is gay grooming. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, is it not? I mean,
well, it's psychological spell casting, and it's being casted on everybody that watches it. And it's just the same thing. They put that stupid tranny girl on the Budweiser cans. They thought it would work. It's like when people recognize the spells. Well, right? Yeah.
With a Dylan Mulvaney, is that who that was?
Yeah. Yep. But when people recognize the spells, it has kind of a reverse effect sometimes. When the spells are just too obvious, it's like doesn't really work out in their favor. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, all we got to do is just not watch the Super Bowl. If everybody didn't watch the Super Bowl because of this, like, you know how quick the Super Bowl would change their tune? Like, we've done this to several companies where we all just protested and immediately they changed the tune of what they were doing. It was just like, yeah, if we just immediately like took our authority as the people and said, yeah, we're not going to watch that. And like nobody bought tickets to the Super Bowl. Like, how epic would that be? Like, dude, it would just collapse the whole system there. And people could
you collapse the whole system, as Jason Whitlock said. Of course, as he's saying all these godly things, he's saying, we all love to gamble. If they banned sports betting, the NFL would just crater. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, these games are rigged anyways. Vegas probably controls so many of these outcomes, if not all of them, that sports betting is what's propped up the NFL for a long time, and likely all pro sports, is that if you could not gamble on them, people would lose interest. I mean, without fantasy football and like the sports betting, and yeah, once your favorite teams start, once you realize they suck, then it's like, it's pretty easy to shut it off. But when you're betting on all these games that are likely already rigged.
I was a cameraman at one of the Fiesta Bowls, I don't know, like pre-COVID, like 2019 or something. I don't know. But I remember being there at the game, watching it. I had done what I needed to do. So at this point in time, I was just using my pass to walk around and get my own like footage and B-roll and pictures for myself and enjoying the opportunity. And I remember watching like the game-winning touchdown. And I remember watching it happen in real time. And I actually filmed it myself from my own vantage point right there on the sideline. That was when I realized 100% unequivocally it's all rigged.
Oh, really?
Because there's no reason it should have gone down the way it went down. Yeah, I literally have the footage somewhere. But yeah, I realized at that moment, like unequivocally, like it's all rigged. Like nothing can change my mind. Being that close to it and seeing it and being like, no, dude, these guys nail their shots. They get it exactly where they want to get it. They know exactly what they're doing. But like watching it happen right in front of me, I was just like, dude, yeah. So nothing can change my mind on that.
No. Well, anyways, guys, yeah, I would encourage you to not consume that kind of content. Maybe make our voices loud. Maybe you could get the halftime choice changed, but I mean, it's not like they would change it to some kind of Christian artist. We know that's not going to happen, but I mean, maybe we shouldn't limit what could happen, but
we could host something live ourselves and promote the crap out of it.
We could do it.
Viewers can make donations and we can promote the crap out of it.
Yeah, we'll call it the anti-football, the anti-NFL event.
We could do a stream.
Yeah,
we could just do a stream, and we're not going to watch that
Dude,
crap.
That's what we should do. We should totally stream on the NFL day when it comes. That whole thing is just so obviously demonic at this point. It's just ridiculous. It's absurd. Just don't buy a ticket, guys. Who cares? It's really not that interesting. In fact, what's going to happen is part of you.
No
is
normal
gonna go,
people buy tickets to the Super Bowl, Brian. It's all like
they buy the online
$20,000-$30,000.
Yeah, they buy the online ticket. That's the thing. But it's like that. Don't watch it because there's no point in watching it. They get this feeling inside of them that's like, oh, but I gotta watch. I gotta see if they won.
Energy harvesting.
Watching some stupid thing that's endless and pointless and does nothing. What are you, a bunch of dudes dressed up as other dudes wearing your buddy's jersey?
The reason people really want to watch the real reason people want to watch football, especially on the Super Bowl, is because everyone's going to be talking about it.
Who gives a crap?
I know. I mean, I'm just saying, but that's why people watch.
Yeah, they want to feel plugged in. Get better friends.
Even the soccer moms are watching the football game when it's a Super Bowl because people want to be checked in. No, I'm not necessarily justifying it by that, but that's why people do it. And
how gay is that? You're literally wearing jerseys of other men walking around in spandex, and you're cheering for them.
I will say, from my perspective,
on, bro.
I became a lot happier because I used to really be a big Redskins fan, and I knew the NFL was rigged because I was a Redskins fan, because they always got screwed every Sunday. But the funny part is that, when you really start to get that 30,000-foot view of it, you're like, it's pretty lame wearing another man's jersey, unless it's your son. That's what I'm saying. Unless you're his dad, like you're wearing, or he's your dad who's playing. Yeah. But when you're a grown man wearing another man's jersey, it's lame. It's lame, and also, you've got enough things that are going to cause you frustration and agony in life. Rooting for a bad team is definitely not that. And obviously, when you root for a good team and you say we, that's also lame. But you know what? I want to play another Bad Bunny video. Check this out, because this is going to lead into the next topic, which I think is something we haven't talked about much on this show.
So woke up this morning to seeing this picture going viral. This is Bad Bunny seen with a brand new hair color before the beginning of his new tour, the Most Wanted tour. And some don't look very happy. Some people don't like the look. Some are shocked, but I don't understand why. I mean, it's not the first time Bad Bunny has gone blonde. It's going back to the old Bad Bunny, to the Trap Bunny era, where he had no problem changing his hair color. He even had pink ones, not just blonde. I mean, the neon green. Neon green is one of my favorites. So watching him dye his hair before the Most Wanted tour, after he just came out with a trap album, to me just makes a lot of sense. The nostalgia that it brings to me is what's cool about it.
Now that guy's take, I don't really give a
sleeping take.
Yeah, that guy, whatever that guy thought about his hair, who cares? Now the main reason I wanted to show that is, I'm sure you guys have noticed the trend of these celebrities
right before they pop off
going blonde. And so here's a little montage of that, if you guys are not familiar with that idea.
Some of those guys, it did not look natural on a lot of those guys. Like, it looked pretty funny.
That's the thing. I mean, blonde is a popular hair color, and it's not unusual for people to dye their hair blonde. But when you see, like, these guys with, like, the platinum blonde hair and stuff like that, and a lot of times they even show them, like, they're shaving their heads, and then they're dyeing it blonde. I remember I mentioned, I did a JT's Mixtape bonus episode where I was talking about the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals Joe Burrow. So Jason Whitlock was clowning on him because he was like doing some runway show in Paris, and he was wearing this backless suit or something, and it looks like a woman. But I said, oh yeah, a year Joe Burrow shows up to training camp with bleach blonde hair. You know, it's kind of like the Eminem look too, right? Looks like Eminem, who's definitely in the club. Aaron, have you done this research into the blonde hair? I mean, I've got a couple videos and I'll play them. They give kind of like the maybe two different perspectives on it, but yeah, what's your take on the blonde hair?
Yeah, I mean, it's from everything that I've researched, it is one of the stages right before they take off. It's a ritual, and it's I wouldn't necessarily call it a humiliation ritual so much as it is just an outward ritual. I'm not sure. At one point in time, I knew exactly what it symbolized, but you can see this with every single artist right before they take off. I saw this most recently. You guys know who Neon is? He's a streamer.
No, I'm not sure who that is.
There's a streamer named Neon, and he does the IRL streaming. He does like the stream. Have you heard of Aiden Ross?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So he's like in that league, like in that category with all of them, and he was like kind of a relevant streamer, and then he kind of like fell off for a little bit, but then he came back out of nowhere. And when he came back, his hair was bleached. It's still bleached probably right now. It's that recent. And he's been doing streams with all big name people, big name musicians, big name artists, all of that kind of stuff. And none of it happened. None of that was happening, not at the level it's happening now before that. So I don't know like what degree it gets them into, or all of the details behind what, I mean, you would have to be a part of the secret society to understand all of the inner workings as to exactly what it is and what it symbolizes. But it seems to be some sort of like rebirth, some sort of like out with the old, in with the new kind of thing. And the trend is, if you pay attention, it's right before they pop off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting. Some of these people were already pretty famous, and then they come back with super blonde hair.
But it usually symbolizes some sort of transition. They might be switching, like they might be changing industries, switching gears, changing genres, changing, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like if you look at all of them and when they got it done, my guess is they all have a common denominator in that they were getting ready to go a new direction. Or they were going from like one level of stardom to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Like from a B to an A plus. Like, but it's typically typically a transition from one level of fame to an entirely new one.
Yeah, I remember we talked about Fight Club recently on the podcast.
Yep.
And I remember Jared Leto's character, he had the platinum blonde hair.
Yep.
In that movie too. So of course that all kind of fits in with the Fight Club.
That was his first
thing.
big role. Like
that probably wasn't it?
I mean, I know he was in movies before that, but like he didn't have a role like that.
Yeah, you're right. That would have been one of his first big movie roles. At least probably one of the ones that got him famous before he did his band and everything.
I bet you could go back at everyone that's in the limelight. I'm willing to bet you could find pictures of them with, and I mean everyone, with bleached hair right before a major change.
You know what's funny? I remember, like, basketball-wise, again, getting back to sports ball, I remember it might have been 1993 or 4, maybe 1994. Rodman. Yeah, Rodman. So Rodman was like one of the first guys to do something crazy like that. That's back before all these NBA guys were all tatted up and had cornrows. Because, of course, where I live, we had Allen Iverson was local to here.
Oh, yeah.
So he was so unusual when he came into the NBA with the cornrows and all the tattoos. And now it's like, that's just so normal. Yep. But yeah, so Rodman was the first kind of like guy who's getting all the tats. And yeah, there was a famous movie out at the time. I think it was it Judge Dredd? It was like a Demolition Man or something like that. It was Sylvester Stallone.
That was Snipes.
Yeah, yes. Sylvester Stallone did 2 movies. and I think one of them was Judge Dredd, but the other one was called Demolition Man. They were kind of similar, but I wanted to say Wesley Snipes was the bad guy in the movie, and he had blonde hair. And I remember when Rodman came out with, that's what everyone was calling him, like Demolition Man. And yeah, Rodman was obviously a very good NBA player, but he was not like you never would call him a star. But then he dyes his hair blonde, and then what is he dating Madonna and all kinds of Carmen Electra and all that stuff? It was like, so he went from, this kind of role player NBA guy, and then he's just, I mean, he was probably one of the biggest names in the whole NBA at that point.
I'm willing to bet if you pulled up a browser right now and we went name by name, just picking people and search for them with blonde hair, we'd probably be able to find a picture of each and every one of the people that we come up with blonde hair. And
yeah,
we'd
it's
probably
almost
be able to link that time frame to some level of stardom or change in their stardom.
Yeah, it's almost as prominent as them covering one eye.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's crazy, because obviously that when you go down that rabbit hole of like the celebrities covering up one eye, doing the sixes over one eye, I mean, that was one of those things where I want to say the guy was named, might have been Jeremiah Cohen. I think he deleted all his stuff off his YouTube channel, but I remember when I was waking up early, he had one of those shows where he was saying it's all of them. And he would have like montages that were 2 hours long, and it would be nothing but celebrities covering up their eye. And I would watch that many of them doing it. And I thought, at first you're like, okay, I guess it's all of them. But then part of your brain would say, no, wait, it can't be all of them. It's too many of them for it to be all real. It almost it like breaks your mind to see everybody doing the one eye symbolism.
Yeah, because you're like, it can't be all of them. Like so-and-so, because we've got our emotions involved, right? So-and-so played a good character that we fell in love with in this movie or that movie or this TV show. Like, there's no way they're involved. And then you look it up and it's like, they did the same things. They did the same exact things. They had the same symbolism, the same everything. Like, it really is. I'm convinced personally, no one can change my mind, but I'm convinced that if you're in the limelight and you're getting paid very well, I don't mean making a living. I don't mean, I don't know what that dollar amount is, but I'm talking about people that are like regularly in the limelight. People that are registered with the Screen Actors Guild, right? Or people that have chart-topping music or are regularly in movies and soundtracks, and they will not risk giving you access to the public if they can't control you.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Again, like we were talking about. So Bad Bunny, I'm not going to say that his music sucks. I've never listened to it. But the point is that you won't get 16 billion downloads unless you have every bit of the apparatus behind you. And you're not going to have that apparatus behind you unless you're willing to do whatever they say.
Completely.
No way. Yeah, there's no
completely.
way that they would let somebody like that get that kind of stardom.
If they
because
can't
it is
control
interesting.
you, they're not going to pump money into you.
It is interesting. I know that we've talked about this, Brian and I, and of course, Brian, I don't know, he had to leave, I guess. But no, Brian and I talked about this before, and I said, it is interesting. It does seem like that there's kind of maybe two tiers of megastar. Some people are so talented that they naturally just rise up. And those are the people that they find harder to control. And those people end up dead at some point.
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
For sure.
Because it's kind of like that. A good example of this is kind of like maybe Michael Jackson, maybe Prince, people like that, where when you actually listen to them talk, sometimes they're saying all this stuff out loud. And then so the craziest one I think is Michael Jackson, is because I think most people don't know this, or most people just don't ever talk about this. It's crazy when you look up that his death was ruled a homicide, and almost nobody really even talks about that or even cares. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, look this up. There's no BS.
That'll be news to people hearing that right now on the podcast.
Like Michael Jackson's death was ruled a homicide, so the doctor killed him on purpose, is what it was ruled. And so that being said, it's like that if a guy like Prince or Michael Jackson, if they ever said, I don't care, I'll produce my own records, especially like these days. Can you imagine with streaming and everything like that? If like they said, I don't want anything to do with you, I'm famous enough where I can take this fame and this talent and I can put it on display. And they could never let that happen.
Did you see what they did to Tory Lanez?
Who's that?
Dude, there's an artist named Tory Lanez. I don't know any of his music. I just know because this is what happened. He figured that out. He didn't need them anymore. He actually took an album and made an NFT out of it. And he made it limited to people. And when he released his album, he didn't release it on the streaming services. He released it as NFTs to people. And a lot of people paid barely any money for it at all. But it became a collectible so quickly that, like, literally within 24 to 48 hours from releasing it, he had made millions of dollars off releasing it because the way that he released it using crypto. Like, he figured out how to use the system against the controllers.
Mm-hmm.
He's in prison.
They put him in prison for what?
They found, I couldn't tell you, but they found reasons to put him in prison unrelated. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So
if they can't control you, they'll find a way to silence you.
So you have two different kinds of people. You have the kind of people who their talent naturally puts them in the spotlight. And then so it seems like that they try to get to those people really early, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like your Justin Biebers, right? We got to take this guy. This guy cannot go solo. So we need to get to him quick. And they get P. Diddy to be his best buddy.
Yeah.
When he's just a little kid, right? And then so then you have the other types where you have maybe like the Bad Bunnies, maybe like the Katy Perrys, the people like that. Oh, I'll do whatever it takes to be famous. And they're like,
yeah,
you're perfect. You're perfect for whatever we got for you because we can control this person. And then when this person goes away, we'll make Taylor Swift Katy Perry. Doesn't matter to us. Right? So, yeah, I think that's what's going on. But, yeah, what's interesting, so let's get back to the blonde hair thing, though, because I think...
Really quick, so Tory Lanez, he released the NFT in 2021, and I don't know when the date was, but he's in prison for evidently shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the leg. I don't know, but he's not going to be out. He's got a proposed release date of 2029, but they threw him in. Okay, so September 28th, 2022.
Gosh.
So literally like within months of him becoming a millionaire, releasing his album as an NFT. But it was because he didn't have a label, he couldn't be controlled. But yeah, let's go into the blonde thing. Like, I seriously want to like pull up a browser and just Google search people and their blonde hair, because I'm willing to bet we wouldn't miss a single one.
I believe you.
So
the blonde theory?
Yeah, there's like more to this blonde theory now. Check this out.
Yeah.
So Ariana Grande might have accidentally revealed the secrets about celebrities dyeing their hair blonde.
Oh, is it call for help?
Close.
Oh, okay.
Close.
Yeah?
Yo, speaking of DDG, there's a streamer that's blonde right now. That's why I want to talk about it.
Who,
Jason the
man?
Ween.
Oh my.
Check this out. No, but like, check this out. So the theory is usually when people start blowing up or before they really pop off, they
go
dye
blonde.
their hair blonde.
Yeah.
And you see it in celebrities, actors, actresses, social media personalities. I'm pretty sure Rice Gum's done it.
Yeah, he's done it for sure, yeah.
But this is what's weird. Ariana Grande, before she started going on like the whole Wicked press tour and all that stuff, she put out a video. And people are speculating in this video, she's trying to reveal the truth about dyeing your hair blonde.
They did the Brighter Days memory erasure treatment to me, so I'm happy.
Oh, I did
You
see
see
this.
that, right?
I have seen that.
The Brighter Days memory erasure treatment. Cool.
Yeah.
What she's referencing is her music video.
Uh-huh.
So in her music video, it's the Brighter Days memory erasure. Now that's a callback to a Jim Carrey movie. I forgot what it's called. Leave down in the comments if you guys know.
Okay.
But theory is the blonde hair isn't them dyeing their hair blonde. It's a result of going through the procedure. When you dunk your head into the liquid and putting your brain into the vat, it changes the color of your hair. So when they go through the memory erasure or they go through the brainwashing, their hair is blonde because they're using their head to go into the system and going through the procedure, dyeing their hair blonde.
Thoughts?
I think it's symbolic. I don't doubt that they do something to them. I don't doubt that they have technology to do memory erasure. I don't doubt that I don't doubt any of that. In fact, I'm sure that they do. but I'm pretty sure it's just another. It's not for the public. It's to let everyone else know in the club that so and so is the latest member.
You know what? It's funny though that you see some people with just kind of blonde hair, and of course, at one point they're showing what's her name, the Mother of Dragons, right from Game of Thrones. She had to have blonde hair for that role, so I don't know if that's a great.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thrown that in.
She was
I thought the same
playing. She
thing.
was playing somebody with the family all had pale white skin and
Yeah, that
bright
was a
blonde hair.
family trait.
But that being said, what if the idea could be that this blonde hair is associated with MK Ultra, and what if one of the treatments that they go in, like kind of the Zoolander day spa thing, they go in this thing and they do put their head in something, and what if it did kind of fry their hair a little bit? You know, it doesn't turn it like like Brian was saying earlier. Some of these have like the platinum blonde, you know, like Brad Pitt, you know, because again, Brad Pitt's kind of funny too, because it's like his hair is already kind of blonde, right? Like it used to be a lot lighter when he first came into Hollywood. He got a horrible kind of orangish yellow, but then some of them are like they got the dark beard and then the platinum hair. I don't know. What if it has something to do with it? That this machine does kind of fry your hair a little bit, and then so then they, to hide it, they just dye the rest of it.
Yeah, it could. It could. It could. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me either way. But for whatever reason, based on, I don't know, I'm thankful to the Holy Spirit because I did reach a point where I learned too much, and I was aware that I learned too much. So there's a lot of old research that I learned that has kind of gone back out of my brain, and I'm thankful for that. At one point, I knew way more about what we're talking about right now than I currently can remember, and I'm actually thankful for that. But for whatever reason, I'm pretty confident that it's symbolism. It's symbolizing that it could be that a procedure was done. It could be that, you know, maybe they have to undergo some level. It could be that they've got to go through something so brutal for control purposes that they've got to wipe part of their brain.
I think there's a more demonic connection.
Okay.
I think it's pretty. My perspective would be that, you know, when you're going through a process that you're about to become big, you go through this ritual, and for whatever reason, the entity of fame needs to embody a thing, and whatever that entity is, it had blonde hair, and it just wants to have its blonde hair back. So it does it as its symbol of recognition that it has.
What if it's like
control over
Apollo?
this person. Yeah, it's Apollo.
Apollo had in his blonde hair.
Exactly my point. And so it's like it does it as its way of like, expressing its dominance over the host in a sense. So like the entity, like the demon, you know, I mean, it's these people are like, okay, I'm about to become really big. And a lot of times when you're going into something that's so big, you're like, I want to be something else. I want to identify as something else. Like they're like about to step into some big position. You know, I don't think it's a, you know, the memory erasure thing is from that the spotless mind thing that she was making a joke.
Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind.
Yeah. And that was just like a joke she was doing. But at the same time, like, you know.
No, but you did see, she did have a video that kind of was similar to that, where she was showing like that her head was getting shocked.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know if it.
I mean, she was referencing, she made it in a kind of obscure movie reference, but it was all based on, for one, she had blonde hair there. And for two, she did have a video that kind of lined up with the stuff that goes on in that movie.
Yeah, but I think it's more of like this thing of like trying to step into whatever identity that you're going to embody, whatever spirit is now possessing you, and it's like that spirit has so much influence over the person, it's going to force it. Because notice that they dye it in stylistic ways. It's not like their whole head is always that way, you know? So it's stylistic.
Well, no, I mean,
sure.
but most of them, their whole head was dyed. I mean, I guess the point is that these people are still vain and they're still trying to rock it as well as they can. But the point is they did dye their hair. Again, like some of those they're not flattering colors. Like the Brad Pitt one, and who was the guy from Maroon 5? What's that guy's name? His hair was just like crazy white, and then he's got his dark stubble beard. It looks so lame. Anyways, look, here's another possible theory. I thought this one was equally interesting.
Why does every rapper dye their hair blonde? Just about every rapper that gets to superstar status goes through a phase where they dye their hair. If every one of these rappers are in their own lane, why do they all copy each other and dye their hair blonde? I mean, this goes on and on. Every single artist. And it's not even just rappers. You even got singers like Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Zayn Malik, and the list goes on and on. Why does every rapper do this? When you essentially bleach your hair, you are damaging your hair. Not only does bleach destroy your hair, but it dissolves the melanin inside your hair. Those who don't know the spiritual power of your hair, you should go look into that. Your hair literally acts as a cosmic antenna. It absorbs vitamin D from the sun. It absorbs water. It absorbs energy just like a sponge. Your hair literally contains pieces of your unique DNA. But they don't want you to know this. That's why they give us things like shampoo. Running out of time, so check out part 2.
Shampoo.
Running out of time when we can make 10-minute videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I figured you guys would like that one, especially with the English at the end. Shampoo. That is a weird. That is weird. You're washing your hair with that? So what do you think? What do you think about the idea that, yeah, your hair has something so unique to you, and then there is something about.
Oh, that's why I keep my hair long.
A spiritual thing.
For my antennas, bro. It's my antenna. So I got to keep my antenna long, you know? That's why.
The story of Samson comes to mind.
That's hey,
well,
you know?
You obviously have the Nazarite vow, right? Is the Nazarite vow, but I mean, it doesn't seem like a thing that we talk about in the old times of them dyeing their hair for a certain reason.
Well, we do call it dyeing your hair. So I mean, dyeing and death.
Literally.
I don't know.
That's true. Dyeing your hair. Yeah, again, the English language, dyeing your hair. And bleaching your hair literally kills it.
Mm-hmm.
It ruins your hair.
I think we've got our answers.
You're dyeing your hair to dye. Is it possible that it's another Masonic thing where, you know, they go in the coffin with the bowling ball and they do all kinds of lewd, lascivious acts in there, and it's some kind of a process where they do a kind of resurrection ceremony where they go in the coffin and they die. So what if part of it is maybe that's symbolizing they're dyeing their hair, they died, and then they returned. But of course, it's funny too, again, like going back to like the Eminem thing. And is it kind of like a thing where they're making clones? Is this kind of like whether it's a real cloning thing or it's just a, you know what I mean? Like symbolic cloning where they're all kind of looking the same.
Well,
with their
it's demon
blonde hair.
cloning is what it is. The demons are just going into the people.
Yeah, like Eminem, all the, like, who's the real Slim Shady and all that. Remember that music awards where they all come out, all the hundreds of M&Ms with their dyed blonde hair, bleached blonde.
It's a demon. Yeah, that's the Slim Shady, by the way. The Slim Shady, a shade is a demon, by the way. So Slim is the name of an ancient entity. Slim Shady. It's literally saying that's the demon. That's his name.
If you couple everything that we just talked about with what Brian's saying, literally the act of sacrificing or dyeing your hair, that could be the offering to the demon to welcome the demon in. That makes absolute perfect sense. Like complete perfect sense.
I also do think this could be that, and it can also be MK Ultra, right? Because that's kind of what we believe is all involved in the same thing. Where it's like
it could be all of them at once.
It's kind of like this is your monarch butterfly, except it's your head. This is the sign that your mind, your head has been changed. It's been bleached. So what if it is something like, your consciousness has been bleached, and then you're going to start again. You're going to start fresh. Got to grow your hair out, and then it's this transitional process, and that kind of fits into all the things we've kind of put together. All right, you know what? I've got a fun one because we're going back to the demonic toys.
Listen to Remco's Baby Laugh a Lot. You're listening to Baby Laugh a Lot. She's the funniest doll you've ever seen. Just push the button and she starts to giggle. Get Baby Laugh a Lot by Remco.
Oh my gosh. That just, dude, even the face of those little kids were like, it was like terror at first. It wasn't like excitement. It was just like
baby Joker dolls.
Yeah, yeah, for real. That's disturbing. I don't know what's going on with that.
I mean, it was funny. I've seen that commercial before because, of course, I've been looking for all these commercials. But even I was watching that, I was half expecting as she was bringing the Laugh a Lot doll to her face that it was going to bite her. You know what I mean? Like I was almost waiting, but like that looks like Chucky, right? That looks like Child's Play. You could see that little demonic, evil Joker biting her nose off.
Well, it's called an eye doll for a reason, an eye doll. It is an idol, and it is like totally like that weird, creepy, laughing dude. Like it's like he gets possessed as the commercial goes on further. It's like by the end, he's like fully possessed. He's like, ha 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 ha. Like, bro, I've dealt with so many demonic things, and like that's a very common thing when I pray for people that get demon possessed, bro. They start laughing weird like that. It's pretty unsettling. Like I've experienced it quite often.
Well, you know what's funny is that when we brought this up before, is the old movie Monsters Inc. Right? So that old Pixar classic where these monsters live in this alternate dimension, and then they have to go through these magical doorways that end up going into the real world and appearing through people's closets, kids' closets. And so they use fear in order to power their cities. The monsters do, right? And then so at the end of the movie, spoilers, at the end of the movie, they realize that laughter is actually a much more efficient way to power their stuff. And so it kind of is that idea of like that, yeah, it's like that Joker spirit, that jester spirit, where it's like this maniacal laughing. Because it's funny. It's funny because it's funny, but it's frightening. It's like the laughter. It's like the maniacal laughing. There's something very unsettling about it, right? Like laughing at the appropriate time makes other people laugh. But laughing at inappropriate times makes people super creeped out.
It's kind of like, the reality is this, like, you can rule by fear, but when you rule by deceptiveness in comedy, it's so much more successful, which is why Loki is the god, which is Satan, Loki, by the way, just in the variants of him, which is Inky, the god of mischief and chaos, right? So, like, that's kind of like an attribution to Loki and chaos and laughter. And it's like, so many more people will follow you if you're deceptively laughing versus trying to scare people into obedience.
Yeah, but so you have this trickster spirit, right? So it's both scary because it's a demon, like these Monsters Inc., but then it can also make you laugh. It does seem like that Paul's often brought that up about how, the jesters, and the jesters represent Nephilim spirits, demons, and so they are both funny, but they're frightening to look at. And it is interesting, like that. Yeah, what's up with that? But why would you ever get that doll for your kid? Could you sleep in the same room as that doll? Can you imagine if you were dozing off to sleep and all of a sudden it just started laughing like that? Again, I know that Brian's not into this kind of stuff, but me and Aaron are going to make a movie, and it's going to be we're going to use all the dolls that we see in all, it's all the characters.
Let's do it. No, dude, you have a knack for finding the creepy videos, the creepy doll videos. Honestly, it's kind of exciting not knowing what I haven't seen yet, but I know that given enough of these episodes, I will eventually see every single creepy doll video that has ever been made.
That's the perks. That's the perks of being a co-host on this show. You guys are free to find them as well, though. I know that, again, I always say that, watching TikTok enough to get videos is definitely not making me smarter. It's making me quite dumber. Let's see where we want to go next. Oh, this was actually a fun one. I want to say this is a fun biblical skit. I enjoyed this one immensely.
Hey God, so Ramses said no about letting your people go, and he might have mentioned the fact that he's not afraid of it because he has the other Egyptian gods that are stronger than you. Interesting. What are his other gods? Oh God, I was afraid that this was gonna happen. He mentioned Hapi, the god of the Nile. Interesting. Gabriel, turn that river into Kool-Aid. Go on. Hecate, the goddess of fertility and water. She has the head of a frog. Cool. Here's 1 billion frogs. Let's see if that's fertile enough for them. Keep going. You're really not going to like this one. Geb, god of the earth. Controls dust and stuff like that. Dust. Perfect. I love it. Turn all the dust into lice. Let's see how they like that. Khepri, god of creation. He has the head of a fly. Swarms. Next. I saw that one coming from a mile away. There's Hathor, the goddess of the harvest with the head of a cow. Kill all the cows. You know what? Why stop there? All the livestock. Screw it. Okay, I don't know if I should keep going, but Isis, the goddess of medicine. Boils and sores. Everyone has them. Has Isis revealed to them what dermatology is yet? Has Isis revealed to them what dermatology is? I don't even know what that is. Okay, but there's Nut, the goddess of the sky. Seth, the god of storms, and Ra, the god of the sun. Fire and ice falls from the sky. The locusts will eat everything that's left, and they worship the sun? Okay, no sun. Let's just get rid of it. There's one more thing. The Pharaoh might also think that he's the son of Ra, and so he himself is divine. He thinks he's the son of God. He kind of stole my thunder there. All right, let's kill all the firstborns. Kill all of them.
I love that. I love that because most people don't know that story is that, that all the plagues line up with all these gods of Egypt. And so what it says is that God, when he does, he's cursing their gods too. And that's why when people say, oh, there's no other gods, is that, well, God actually judges their gods at the same time he does all his things. And again, that's why he hardens Pharaoh's heart. Because if Pharaoh just let the people go, then the glory of God would not be shown in the way that he was going to show everyone. So I think that's pretty awesome, is that every plague lines up with one of their gods, and it's like each one by one, he's knocking them down. So they'll see who the Most High God is. And so, in a time when Egypt would have been the most powerful nation, that the Most High God established that he's the real deal and everybody else is a pretender. So that was good.
I'm convinced that no matter what he does, no matter what he's done, no matter what he ever will do, most people are just going to do what they do, and they're going to continue to be their own God right up until the end. You know what I mean? It's because as if those examples aren't enough, then you've got Jesus in the flesh that came down and did everything that he did, and it's just like, where does it, and then you still see the love of Jesus being carried out modern day through, people demonstrating the love of Jesus and the miracles that are being performed. I'm sure Brian's seen plenty of them. I've seen plenty of them. I've been a part of the kind of things that no one can ever take from me, that if they were to be publicized or filmed and shared, everybody would believe if they could be a part of those moments. And it's baffling to me how people can still choose to be ignorant and not choose him with all of the overwhelming evidence.
Amen. Amen to that. So, all right, we've got just a couple more videos and we'll close it down here today. Brian's going to love this one.
Wait, what do you want to show me?
My picture I drew.
Your picture you drew.
That's Daddy, that's Mummy, and that's me.
And what's that?
That's Steve.
Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
Who's Steve?
My friend.
Your imaginary friend?
My best friend.
Your best friend Steve? You've got a best friend that looks like this?
It's my best friend, Steve.
Okay. I'm leaving the house.
Brian, do you want to talk about kids and their imaginary friends?
They're all demons. Killing children that have imaginary friends. I'm going to tell you right now, I know it sounds like silly and you think your child's being creative. I'm telling you right now, it's a demon. Like 99% of the time almost. Like it's almost always something demonic going on. So yeah, that's for sure Steve. I believe she does have a friend named Steve. It's probably a good accurate depiction of Steve as well in that drawing picture.
Well, they say that, so the first 7 years of a child's life, they're just kind of like onboarding information, right? Like they don't know, they're learning like the rules of engagement in life. And that's why you see so many kids with imaginary friends, so many kids that see things, experience things, hear things, talk to other entities or creatures, and then they get older, and it's not until they start to get older do they get taught by society that that's weird, or that it's not normal, or that they shouldn't do it. And so it's like they're highly susceptible to that stuff during that age. And I think that if more people paid attention, even in scripture, when it talks about having that childlike faith, having that just understanding and knowing like a child of just believing, I imagine Jesus crossing the street and us just reaching up and holding his hand, not looking left, not looking right, just knowing he's going to get us across the street. That frees your brain up to just have faith that would seem psychotic to most people because you're not concerned about all of the details. I think that's what happens with a kid. And like I said, scientifically speaking, for the first 7 years of a child's life, they're onboarding all of that information onto their hard drive. So and if you look at it statistically, I'm willing to bet that everyone, and I mean everyone, us included, everyone that is dealing with some sort of trauma in their life, something that still impacts them to this day, bad habits, whether it's bad eating habits, whether it's relationship issues, no matter what it is, it's probably related to some sort of trauma that happened during that time frame, because we're so susceptible. And that's when the demons come in and attach themselves and get us to come into agreement with a lie. And they don't care, dude. They don't discriminate.
No.
Like they come after the kids. They want to attack them at an early age. They want to attach themselves at an early age.
And trauma is their doorway in. Trauma is their gateway.
1,000,000%. So you see your kid drawing stuff like that, saying that they see them, saying that they're talking to them, like believe them.
Yeah. And another thing I'd say is the children, the reality is this, is like the children are not, they're not, how do you say this? Like they are more pure in a lot of ways. Okay. So like what happens is when you're in a pure state, when you're in a more innocent state, what happens is as we get older, we dirty ourselves with lies and distortions and secrets, and then it dissolves us from being pure. That's why children have supernatural experiences often way more than adults do. And those supernatural experiences come about, like children will oftentimes like fall into, sleep paralysis. But as you get older, guess what? Those things don't happen to you no more as you get older. And that's because like the children's state, you're in a pure form. You're in that more innocent state. You're more susceptible to the spiritual realm. We dirty ourselves with all these things and it keeps us, it prevents us from seeing into that realm of reality.
Peter Pan's an example of that, right?
Yes.
The kids that get older, they can't go to Neverland anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good call. Yeah, to me, it seems like that. Is it possible that, before you have the understanding that it's unusual to have somebody talking to you who's not visible, then maybe that's how they can influence children because they don't know that it's weird. When you're an adult, you're like,
not even a question.
Yeah, you're just like, what the heck is that? But I mean, again, that does happen. They hear the voices. Now, this is a story, this is an anecdote of somebody I've heard from recently that they had a similar situation with I want to say like a 6-year-old girl. And it started happening with a imaginary friend. And then the parents are saying they hope it's just a phase and they're waiting for it to go away. But then at some point, she injured her toddler brother. And then she told her parents that the voices told her good job. And you're like, whoa, that is so creepy and messed up. And it's like, there's no way that is not a real entity influencing that little girl.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not something you would come up with on your own at that age. So it's like literally them just being honest about what's happening, and then an adult really doesn't have they don't know how to deal with that. And of course I don't really blame them, because as you see your innocent child, and of course I have no idea what goes behind closed doors in any of those houses. And so, yeah, what kind of trauma, probably, again, how you kind of develop these imaginary friends in that way. And I'm sure that there's lots of situations where a kid has an imaginary friend and their parents are Ozzie and Harriet. Like it's like Leave It to Beaver. Everything's fine in their house.
No, that's a fact. So like, it doesn't have to be, okay, so like trauma affects the brain the same whether it's big trauma or little trauma. It affects
it's
the
relative.
brain.
Pain is relative.
Yes. So where it impacts your brain, and y'all can fact check me on this, but where trauma impacts your brain, it doesn't matter whether you were
embarrassed in front of your parents or in front of an entire crowd,
assaulted by a stranger physically.
Yeah.
Like, it does the same kind of damage to your brain. Now, we see it different, like society-wise, like we see it different, like rightfully so. We see it on a scale, but it does the same kind of damage to the brain. And what most people don't understand is that when that trauma is unhealed and unresolved in the brain, when your brain makes new brain cells, it creates new brain cells from the area with trauma first. So it duplicates new brain cells. The new brain cells have that trauma from the previous brain cells. So they just keep repeating themselves until those areas of your brain are healed and solved. And so there's so many different methods to do this. EMDR therapy works extremely well, but what we're talking about essentially is deliverance. And what most people don't understand is that these demons want your children. They will do everything they can to get into the weeds of your child's brain, mind, heart, and soul, to create bad habits, to start forming bad habits that last a lifetime. So like I'll just speak for myself. I speak from personal experience. I had a very overactive imagination when I was young. I was thrust into the spirit realm at a very early age. I almost died when I was 5. I had a traumatic event where I almost died in the hospital. I couldn't breathe. I heard the doctor saying they weren't sure if I was going to make it. So I looked to my mom and I go, "Mom, am I going to make it?" And my mom says, I love my mom, but she's very brutally honest. And she goes, "I don't know, son." And like most parents would tell their kids, "Yeah, you're going to be fine." I was forced at 5 to deal with the reality that I might die at any moment. So like I had an out-of-body experience. I remember it perfectly. I was immediately thrust into the spirit realm. I was immediately seeing and contemplating what happens after you die when I was 5 years old in the hospital.
Bro, so you got to tell me more of these details of the story. This is epic.
Yeah, so I'll just get through it really quickly because I know you're trying to wrap up. But like, we can go in depth on another podcast. But I've worked through the trauma of the event, right? I've worked through the trauma of the event. Like, my mom and I are good. I don't got mommy issues. Like, my parents love me. Everything's fine. But like, there's weird things, right? Like, I still have a phobia of fluorescent lights because I remember the lights that were in the room at the time when it happened. Like, I can't do unnatural lighting, fluorescent lighting. Like, I can't do it. Like, but like, there's a lot of things that happened as a result of that, things that I struggle with. So like, we left that night and Whataburger was open. It was like 4 a.m. So we got French fries, Whataburger. It was like a reward system. Food became a reward system. So like, one of the biggest things I've struggled with my whole life is my eating habits and emotionally abusing food and having this weird relationship with food and all this kind of stuff. And so all of it, flash forward, you got to go back to your earliest childhood memories of the earliest point of trauma and work through that stuff, but not just work through that moment. Forgive whoever needs forgiving, heal from whatever took place, all of that kind of stuff, gut that out, but also identify what bad habits it's created in your life as a result. Like, not all deliverance is instant. Not all deliverance is an immediate demon leaving your body. Sometimes you got to go back to when you were 5 years old and recognize where you came into agreement with a lie. when one of those demons spoke to you and told you, like, this will make it better. This will heal it. This will get you through it. This is all you need. This will bring you comfort. This will, like, if you can identify that, then you can start to unravel some of the deepest levels of deliverance that can possibly take place in a human. So this all ties back into that drawing, dude. Like, yeah, these demons are diabolical.
Yeah.
They will use any form of trauma to get into your mind, get into your brain, and create bad habits that will last your entire life. And I'm willing to bet
they're not
that
fair.
every adult, no matter what age they are, the issues that they're still dealing with, that they're still struggling with, the demons that have not been slayed, are a direct result of lies that they came into agreement with demonically when they were a child from their earliest forms of trauma.
Yeah, that definitely can be connected. I've seen a lot of that for sure.
No doubt. And of course, biblically, Jesus cast out demons out of, I think, more than one child.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
they don't discriminate, dude. They want the kids.
Oh, well, I mean, again, if you think that demons are influencing people in Hollywood, people in the music business, politicians, it's very clear that that's what they want. And of course, because God loves the little children so much, it makes sense that the enemy would be targeting things to try to hurt our God.
1,000,000%.
Makes sense. All right, I changed my mind. I do have one more video, and it's not going to be a fully Charlie Kirk free show, but I just thought this was really interesting. Charlie Kirk's replacement. Have you guys seen this guy?
No.
You guys have all seen this human skin suit they're replacing Charlie Kirk with, right? He had 210,000 followers, but 0 engagement before he was shouted out by Donald Trump at Charlie Kirk's memorial. Every single tweet is something about Israel. He was getting 15 likes on posts where he had just tuned in to speak on Fox News. That's how astroturfed he is. Here he is posting that America First actually means standing with Israel. His Wikipedia page was made by an editor who's a Zionist, a Surius, and he's getting shoutouts from Greg Abbott and Sarah Huckabee Sanders and other regular politicians. Let's look at some of his Substack. Stop blaming the deep state, start delivering results. A third party is a gift to the left, so we shouldn't have a third party, we need to just be Republicans. It's time to start acting like we deserve freedom. His family gets money from working with real estate developers and developing Section 8 housing on their own. Here he is sporting a Rolex at about 20 years old. People say, no, he's not astroturfed. He's been doing stuff since he was like 12 years old. Maybe his family forced him into it, but he didn't build up his own audience organically. Nobody recognizes this guy. I'm seriously chronically online, and I talk to a lot of other people who are chronically online, and they've never heard of this guy before basically now.
That's not suspicious.
No. What was really crazy is this interview he gave. I want to say it was, again, whether you guys believe this is real or not, the Charlie Kirk thing, I want to say it was within minutes of him being declared dead, he was giving an interview on Fox News where he was giving like the most creepy smiles and stuff like that. It was like kind of you ever seen those people when they talk, it's like they're smiling even when they're talking about sad stuff. It was almost like he had his news face on, but he didn't really know how to turn down the level.
Like the guy that said that they found the killer within 33 hours, that kind of smirk.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the.
It's also an incredible story that you share with us really quickly, Brillin, about fourth grade, a podcast. That's incredible. And Charlie Kirk appears on your podcast. Tell me about the role he played for you as a mentor.
Yeah, again, it's somebody that didn't have to do that. He was on Fox News every other hour that year. He didn't have to make time for me as an 11-year-old with this upcoming podcast in the fourth grade to come on and join me, but he did. And not only was it a one-time thing, I've interviewed hundreds of people that I've never talked to again. He stayed a mentor, and he texted me up until this week when I was on another Fox show congratulating me. Like, he didn't have to do that. He could have viewed me as competition. He could have said, oh, I'm not going to give this kid time, but he did. And what I think the larger theme here is the left loves to preach tolerance. They love to preach tolerance. And in situations like this, that's the last thing we're seeing. The media coverage on the other side of the aisle is not like this. I was just scrolling through channels. And obviously the person that took this live, this is heartbreaking, Will. And I really hope, if anything, that people get off the sidelines. This weekend, I'm going to a youth rally in South Carolina. And you better believe that I've already had my team shoot me text saying, Brown, you really need to caution this. You really need to think about not standing in the middle of a park and speak to the next generation. But I am more energized than ever to carry on this torch, to carry on this legacy, because that's what Charlie would have wanted. He would have wanted us to continue to fight the good fight, just like he did.
No doubt, Brylan. No doubt. Thank you so much.
For those that don't know what astroturf means, it's like a term meaning fake grassroots, okay? Because grassroots means like it's come up out of society in a normal way. But astroturfing means they've propped this up to look like it came out of society, like he was a naturally born person. But no, he was a plant. He's a plant. That's what that definition is, okay? And that dude with Israel all over himself is very clearly planted there. I mean, that is so obvious and disturbing. And like are we really, is society just gonna fall for this at this point? This is absurd.
Right. Here's all I gotta really say about it. This is the way I think I can foresee how he was astroturfed. Check this out.
Sir, it's ready. He will be our greatest ally in our fight to control the narrative.
Trap is near you. This is exactly. That's great. That's a great video. That's exactly what's happening.
He was made in a lab. This one looks real lifelike. You remember the early Terminators? They were really easy to spot. But yeah, these ones are getting better.
This one's way more lifelike. Did you? Oh, bro. You know, there's one more thing. I don't know if you played it. Did you catch that NASA made a post on about on ISS page?
Oh, they're going back to the moon.
They're going back to the moon.
Hold that thought. We'll do that on a future episode. We'll have to feature some more moon landing tomfoolery on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll just end it there today because obviously we're getting to almost 2 hours. So.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Once again, if you guys want to support this podcast, please check me out on Patreon. You can watch these episodes early and uncensored. Also, if you want to support me, you can check out Modern Roots Life. Support me, support your health, win-win, and grab a shirt if you want to. But yeah, once again, guys, really appreciate all your love and support. We love you guys. God bless.
Later.